Roy from Roy's Garage. Today I'm going to be working on a 2007 Nissan Versa. I'm going to show you how to replace the front brake pads and front rotors. These are the tools I'm going to be using today to do this job. A hood prop, rubber mallet, 3/8 ratchet, 14mm socket, 17mm socket, a 14mm and a 17mm wrench, 10mm wrench, small flat tip screwdriver, a pick, air gun, piston caliper compressor, Phoenix brake flusher, brake clean, anti-seize, ceramic grease, a bottle of water with a hole on the top, a suction ball, and a vacuum hose to remove my brake fluid from the master. These are the parts I'm going to be using today to do this job. Front brake pads, front rotors, and .3 brake fluid. Okay, so first I'm going to be removing this rubber plug, loosening up the bleeder screw while the caliper is mounted on the vehicle. Removing the caliper, there's two bolts, one here and one here. Okay, removing the pads. So I'm going to hang this caliper up with a wire just to get it out of the way. Hook it onto the strut. Removing the caliper mount. Removing the rotor. Okay, so I removed the caliper from the wire, so I'm going to be compressing this piston. Putting my old brake pad in. Putting in my compressor. Opening up the bleeder screw. And it's not coming out. So I think it's clogged in here. So removing the bleeder screw. Getting my pick. Oh, it's really black. This is what happens when you don't flush out your brake system. This is really bad. You see how dark it is? That's all worn out. This is very bad. This brake fluid should be coming out clear. Yeah, the brake fluid is all worn out. It's all contaminated, and the inside of this caliper is probably all rotten. That's why it clogged up. So I'm going to be flushing out this brake system. Okay, so I'm going to be hanging up my caliper again just to get it out of the way. So I'm going to be cleaning my rotors with brake clean. Wiping it down, getting off all the oil and grease. Okay, if you notice, this rotor is coated. Leave the coating on, don't take it off. When you road test the vehicle, you might hear a grinding sound. That's all this coating that's coming off. After a few miles, the grinding sound will go away, and then you're good to go. Putting on some anti-seize around my hub. Putting on a wheel nut just so the rotor doesn't wobble on the hub. So I'm going to be lubricating these pins, removing the pin. Just clean it up. Put some ceramic grease right in here. Put some ceramic grease on my pins. Lubricating my shims. I'm going to be reusing the old shim. The new pads does come with new shims, but if you try to put the new shims on, a lot of times it doesn't fit good and wants to fall off. So if you can, reuse your old shims. Nothing wrong with reusing your old shims. Installing the caliper mount. I'm gonna be putting on these new pads, but if you notice, this is the old one, is very thin. This new pad is super thick. Okay, so there's this little piece, this shim that's sticking out. You gotta put this shim right into this hole and then slide the pad in, just like that. And same for the inside. So I'm going to be putting some grease on the back of this pad. All you need is a little, and just kind of rub it around. Lubricating my caliper. Lubricating the piston. Installing the caliper. Now we're going to flush out the brake system. Okay, so I'm going to be removing the brake fluid from the master cylinder. The master cylinder reservoir is right here between the air intake and the air filter. So open up the cap. And there's a screen in there. It's kind of far in, you got to remove it. So with my pick, I'm going to be removing it. Okay, I stuck in a vacuum hose, and I'm going to try to suck out as much as possible. Okay, so I'm going to be flushing out the brake fluid with this Phoenix brake flusher. Opening up the bleeder screw, connecting my flusher to the bleeder screw, and start flushing it out. We're going to be using about half a bottle per wheel. Lock it up. So I'm going to remove the brake fluid again. Just remove as much as you can. Filling up my reservoir with some fresh brake fluid. Putting in my screen. Putting my cap on. Okay, so I'm going to start up the vehicle. Okay, so I'm going to be pumping the brake up and down, no more than halfway until I feel pressure. It feels good. So I'm going to be pressurizing the brake system with my hood prop. One side against the brake pedal, the other side against the seat. Now we're going to bleed the brake. Okay, opening up my bleeder screw. That looks clean. That's how it should be. Shooting some water on my bleeder screw. Brake fluid is water soluble. Blowing it down with some air, drying it off. So I'm going to pressurize my brake system one more time. Hold it about 15-20 seconds and check for leaks. Okay, so I have the brake system pressurized about 15-20 seconds. We're going to check the bleeder screw, make sure everything is all dry, that looks good, no leaks. Put your rubber plug back on and you're good to go. So that's how you replace front brake pads and rotors. If you have any questions, comment below. Make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I see you in the next video. Aloha.